Yo, what is going on?
Guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. So if you guys saw my last video, which I hope you guys did, if not, go ahead and actually right here, go click right there and you'll go see what happened with the KA, with the 240. Now sadly we did a compression test and the results came back bad. Cylinder 2, 3, and 4 were perfect, but cylinder 1, no compression. It was like at 90, and stock compression is like 175, 180. Now, I already went ahead and I pulled out the motor, and I tore it apart, checked the internals, and it was actually worse than I thought. I thought it was going to be either my piston rings or my head gasket. Nope, it was worse than that. I'll show you guys what it was. But first, let's take a look at the engine bay. Completely stripped again, just like when we first started. So it's gonna be another long process. So as you guys can see, the engine is back out again. The bumper's just chilling there. I needed a clear space in the garage. Engine is out, tranny is out, and the KA is actually right here behind this bag. You guys can see it's right here, chilling. We'll talk about what's gonna happen with that later. Most of the parts are sold, but let's take a look at what happened. So I got the turbo here, right? And then I have piston number 1, which was the low compression piston. Now on the KA, it is known a weak spot to be the piston ringlets, which are these little grooves here. You guys see these little grooves where the piston rings would go in. Well, when we pull the piston out, take a look at the damage. Completely broken. Now, it wasn't like this when we pulled it out. It was just cracked all the way through here, all the way through here. And when I pulled it out, the piece literally just popped off with it. So it wasn't like the piece wasn't in the oil pan or like moving around or anything. It was still there. It was just completely cracked, and all I had to do was lift it off. Now on that block is perfect. It's 100% fine. The walls on the cylinders are 100%. That is perfect for a rebuild, but we'll talk about that right now. I want to show you guys why this happened so this doesn't happen to you. And to be honest, it was that thing's fault. So as you guys can tell already, piston completely blew. It's cracked. That needs a whole new piston. That's not gonna work anymore. So we can rebuild that, or we can swap or whatever. We'll talk about that. But so the reason that happened, and it was first thing first, it was not the tune. I don't want everybody to say that's what you get for getting a ROM tune. That thing's in the way. I don't want everybody to say, oh, it was the ROM tune, that's what you get for cheaping out on a tune. It was not the tune. I did have a little issue where I kept getting, how do you call it? I guess a fuel cut. It would fuel cut around 5,000 RPMs. Now I did contact Martin from RS Enthalpy, and he did help me sort that out. It turned out to be a timing thing. Once I got that fixed, the car was running perfect. Now sadly, I didn't record any of me driving the K because I just forgot, or I got too excited or anything. But so the main problem was that I kept over boosting. Now I had that issue right in the beginning. Since I finished the car, I would notice it would hold around 8 psi, and it would just creep up from there. So it was boost creep, and it would creep up all the way to 15 psi. If you guys know, 15 psi on a stock KA is just not good. It's not gonna take it. 10 is the most you want to push, and even that's like a little risky depending on the condition of your KA. So I kept peaking at 15, and it would hold for a little bit. By the time I would notice, it was already at 15. That's also my fault for not keeping an eye on my boost gauge. Now the reason that kept happening, at first I thought I had a boost leak. So I ran a boost leak test, everything was fine. I checked everything was fine, and I couldn't figure out what kept causing me to overboost. Now I did some research, and actually somebody else on YouTube, I can't remember his channel, I'll put it in the link below. Somebody else had the same issue with the same turbo, and this is what the issue is. So the issue I had was with the turbo wastegate. Now if you guys know how a turbo works, this is the wastegate here. This is the wastegate actuator. Boost pressure pushes the spring, which causes this to push. It's actually pretty hard. It pushes this to move, and you see it opens up that flap down there. Now the problem is that this flap, I guess it's a common thing even on some Garretts, some older Garretts, where this does not mate properly, and it causes a boost leak, somewhat like that, is at least what I read. So what they do is they'll bore this out a little bit, they'll clean it up, they'll also clean up the inlet right here, you know, like a port and polish kind of thing. They do it here. Now I think that's what the issue was. That's what a lot of people have been saying with this turbo and turbos of this style. So I kept peaking at 15, caused way too much pressure on a stock ring, and I mean on a stock piston, and caused the ring lens to completely just break off. So that's what happened with that. That's why that block is now chilling there. Now what do we do next? I sold most of the stuff already, so you guys already know where I'm going with this. Alright, so now you guys know why my engine blew. So too much boost pressure on a stock KA. So if you guys are running that ISR turbo or like a Garrett 2871, make sure that your wastegate is good. Now I've read that it's a common problem. You want to go ahead and port it out. That's what basically fixes the issue, and that is the cause of it. The exhaust flows just, they don't flow properly, and once you port it out, you get a better flow. So that being said, that KA completely needs a rebuild. Now I've already decided what to do. I think you guys already know, since the KA is over there chilling. Now that KA is a perfect candidate to be rebuilt. The block is good, the head is 100% perfect, the cams are so clean, camshafts are clean, the cylinder walls are good. Maybe just bore it out, or even a hone would be good on that, and we could do a forged build on that. But we're gonna put that block away, and we're gonna save it for a different project in the future. We'll give it a new home. Maybe we'll buy a chassis, or for a drift car or something. We'll figure out what to do with that. But that KA is not going back into the 240. I've already purchased another engine. I'm not gonna tell you what it is here. You guys have to watch the next video for that. But I'll give you a hint. Us being the boosted cartel, obviously it's turboed. It's gonna be boosted. Now it's gonna be pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie. So these videos might take a little longer because I need to save up a lot more money, but it's gonna be sick. I hope you guys love it. I'll show you a quick little hint of the engine. That's about it. I just wanted to tell you guys what was going on, why the engine blew, what to look out for when doing these KATs, you know, what to look out for with the ISR turbo. Like I said, most of the well, honestly, the whole ISR kit except for the intercooler core and the turbo are sold. It's the only things I have. I feel like I'm gonna keep that piston because it's the first engine that I've ever blown, and it's the engine that started this whole channel, the whole build. You know, it's the first piston that I blew, first engine that I blew. So I'm gonna keep that as a memory. You know, let's frame it or something cool. Put it in the garage somewhere as a cool reminder to never give up and to learn from your mistakes, and because it's what started this whole thing. Hopefully we keep growing from there, but I'm gonna show you guys a little peek of the engine. Take your guesses now. Go ahead, leave a comment down below what you think the engine is gonna be, and I'm just gonna say for horsepower, we're aiming pretty high. We're gonna be aiming pretty high. That KA was pushing about, I never got to dyno it, but I'm gonna say a butt dyno was like 250, 260 around there, which is pretty cool on a really light car. You guys know my car is all stripped out. So we're gonna be pushing for big power. That means a lot more upgrades gotta go into the chassis. But I'm gonna shut up now and show you a little peek. Alright, so this is the new engine. Got it covered up so you guys can't see it. Here's a little sneak peek. It's already boosted from factory. Alright, tranny's chilling right there. Now we got to do a few upgrades to this car to be able to handle that engine. First thing is I'm gonna do a 5-lug conversion with Z32 brakes, new wheels, new tires, all that stuff. We're gonna have to upgrade our master cylinder to handle the Z32 brakes. Now I already have Z32 brakes here. I actually got a pretty good deal on these. I have fronts right here. I have the rears also. I'm just playing around with colors right now. I kind of like this purple to match the interior. I'll do a whole separate video on how to do that swap, how to do the 5-lug swap. I'm trying to match it to this purple color, have a little blue and purple scheme going. But we got to do some upgrades to handle that thing. That thing was supposed to be the next project. Don't even worry about that thing. So this thing's gonna take all my money again. I might tidy up the engine bay a little bit more. I gotta repaint some stuff that I peeled while pulling the engine, like that. The radiator support. I already cracked the front bumper, if you guys can see. The car's too freaking low, man. Look how close that thing is to the ground. Look at the sway bar. It's like 3 inches, 2 inches off the ground. So definitely gotta get new wheels. These are cheap XXR wheels on stock calipers, and the rotors are just rusted away, as you guys can see. Look at that, all curb rashed. So it's gonna get a little makeover with the wheels and getting a new heart. I'll reveal that next time. That's it for today. Peace.